It's okay to dream a little.
Not if you're us.
A child wanted.
Don't you love me?
Joe. It's okay to dream a little.
Thanks for watching my analysis of Blade Runner 2049, the 2017 cyberpunk dystopian neo-noir thriller directed by Denis Villeneuve, co-written by Hampton Fancher and Michael Green, and based on Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Blade Runner 2049 stars Ryan Gosling as K,
You look lonely.
Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard, Ana de Armas as Joy, Jared Leto as Neander Wallace, Dave Bautista as Sapper Morton, Mackenzie Davis as Mariette, Robin Wright as Lieutenant Joshi, and Sean Young as Rachel.
Don't you love me?
Before I get started, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, movie reviews and more. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit the bell so that you won't miss any new videos that I'll upload in the future. Everyone has a dream, and for serial number KD6-3.7 or K, that dream is to have what all humans are born with.
It's okay to dream a little.
K's job is tying up loose ends called replicants, genetically enhanced humans manufactured for off-world labor. K is also a replicant, however, he is also called a Blade Runner. Sapper Morton, a combat medic and replicant, is now a protein farmer on Earth after going AWOL from an off-world war on Calantha. K pays him a visit and discovers a box buried under a dead tree containing the bones of a woman who died while giving birth 30 years ago in 2019, which just so happens to be the year that a Blade Runner named Rick Deckard disappeared with Rachel, a replicant manufactured by the Tyrell Corporation. More wrong than discovering bones of a replicant woman that died while giving birth is its missing child. A replicant giving birth to its own child would break the world and scorch the earth. Reproduction was the sacred line that separated humans from replicants. Fuck off, skin jobbers. And now that line has been crossed and everything must be burned.
Yes, madam.
All evidence, the bones, nothing left.
Erase everything.
Including the child, which will be around 30 years old from the date of its birth, around the same age as K, who has a dream to be born of a mother, because to be so is to have what all humans are born with, a soul.
Wait.
If you are watching this film analysis of Blade Runner 2049, then it is a safe bet that you've already seen the film, so I will do my best to avoid repeating what's already been said about the sequel's faithfulness to the spirit of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and the 1982 film, whether or not Rick Deckard himself is a replicant, the film's 2-hour and 43-minute running time, or the film's complicated plot. However, if you give me 10 minutes or so of your time, I will explain why artificial humans like K and other replicants in this film are more human than the humans in this film. And at the end of this video, I will also reveal a few surprising facts about Blade Runner 2049 that you may not know. So let's get started.
I always knew you were special.
Blade Runner 2049 is set in Los Angeles, California, 30 years after Blade Runner Rick Deckard disappeared with a replicant named Rachel that escaped from the Tyrell Corporation. 30-year-old Blade Runner K is dispatched to a worm form to retire a replicant field medic named Sapper Morton that went AWOL from an off-world war on Calantha. There, Kay also finds a footlocker under a dead tree containing the bones of a woman who died while giving birth 30 years ago.
Come on home for your baseline.
Kay is a replicant, and he has to take a baseline test each time he kills or retires another replicant. In this film, a baseline test is equivalent to the Voight Kampff, except that instead of failing a replicant for his lack of empathy, the baseline test passes a replicant for his lack of empathy. To pass baseline, the pitch of the voice has to be flat,
interlinked,
or completely unemotional. Fortunately for Kay, he passes his baseline after killing Sapper Morton due to his belief that he does not have emotions or a soul to feel any remorse for Sapper Morton.
Attaboy.
Nor is Kay offended when a morgue tech named Coco makes replicant insensitive remarks, such as being surprised by the fact that a replicant savage like Sapper Morton would take the time to bury a woman's bones.
Sorry.
And as for the woman's dead baby, as far as Coco is concerned, Sapper probably ate it. And speaking of Coco, Kay's boss, Lieutenant Joshi, is also insensitive towards replicants like him. Upon seeing the blood, cuts and swellings on his face from his fight with Sapper,
You're hurt.
she makes it clear to him that she is more concerned about the bottom line than his injuries.
I'm not paying for that.
Also, in Kay's presence at the morgue, Joshi describes the dead replicant woman that gave birth as a thing instead of a person. She even calls Kay a boy, even though he is a 30-year-old man. In addition to having to deal with slurs and insensitive comments directed at his kind at work, fuck off, skin job, Kay has to deal with the same at his apartment complex. The complex is overcrowded and multi-ethnic. Humans on the bottom of society's social, economic, and genetic ladder are disqualified from living off-world among their genetic betters. But even so, the misfit humans of Kay's apartment complex still have a sense of genetic entitlement when they see Kay, a replicant, like the man who spits at Kay for greeting him, like the old woman walking into Kay because he is supposed to move out of her way. Like the children that gaze up at him in fear, like the words "fuck off Skinner" spray painted on his apartment door. All the doors of the other apartments at the complex are open, but his door remains closed. Even so, he looks out the window and sees a human couple in their apartment across the street kissing, as if to remind him that he, as a replicant, is isolated even among misfits. Kay settles in for dinner, a drink, and a night in with his own woman. Joi, a holographic projection of a woman, is as real to Kay as the unseen man who gives him his baseline test, or Kay himself, who exists out of sight and mind apart from humans, oblivious to the fact that he is a living being capable of feeling pain, dreaming and loving, invisible and yet real at the same time. And because of his insignificance as a replicant, Kay's deepest wish is to have a soul. So when Joshi sends him to the DNA base at police headquarters to look up children born on June the 10th, 2021, the date on the bottom of the wooden horse in his childhood memory, Kay knows that finding the child born on this date will be an important piece of evidence that the child may be him. But most importantly, being the child born on June the 10th, 2021 will also mean that he has a soul.
Of woman born.
However, tangible evidence alone will not prove that his memory is real, any more than syncing with the body of a real flesh and blood woman will make Joi a real woman, or any more than finding a wooden horse in a furnace will make his childhood memory of putting it there real. Not when there is a possibility that his memory is only an implant. Having a soul is Kay's lifelong dream. And when he sees the date carved on the root of the dead tree in Sapper Morton's front yard, Kay begins to believe that his childhood dream may come true. But even so, he seeks more evidence and gets it by checking the DNA files of every child born on June the 10th, 2021. 2 children were born on that date with the same DNAs. Impossible, meaning that someone wanted one of the children to disappear. And just like that Kay's lifelong dream of having a soul becomes palpable, and even more so when he goes to the orphanage where both of the children were processed. There is also an old abandoned tanker with a furnace at the orphanage, and just so happens that Kay finds a wooden horse in this furnace, still more tangible evidence that his childhood memory of putting the wooden horse there may be real. But needing conclusive evidence, Kay stops by the memory lab to get designer Anna Steline to scan his childhood memories. As a teenager, he nearly drowned in the ocean, but as unpleasant as his memory is, it did not stop him from going back to the ocean, a sure sign of a memory implant. She scans another childhood memory of him hiding a wooden horse in a furnace, but unlike his memory of drowning in the ocean, this memory is real and a shock to her due to the fact that it is illegal to implant real memories. Only constructed memories can be implanted. However, neither Kay nor Anna are aware that his memory is her memory, copied, regenerated, and implanted into his brain. Even so, Kay feels and acts like the memory is his and no longer feels the need to conceal his emotions on his next baseline test.
You're not even close to baseline.
And no longer does he feel the need to hide his true emotions from Joshi because he is a born replicant, not a created one, and they are now on equal terms.
What the fuck is with you?
Kay undergoes a complete emotional and spiritual turnaround after Anna tells him what he always wanted to hear, that his memory of the wooden horse is real and that he has a soul. However, as Deandra Wallace makes a replica of Rachel to make Deckard question whether she really loved him or whether she was programmed to love him.
Don't you love me?
Following Joy's death, Kay sees a giant holographic projection of Joy as an ad, and this version of Joy also calls him
Joe.
which causes him to question whether Joi really loved him or whether she was programmed to love him. But even worse than doubt is the truth coming out of the mouth of an old woman. Fraser, leader of the Replicant Freedom Movement, helped Sapper Morton deliver Rachel's baby girl, and just like that, Kay's dream of having a soul is destroyed. He wasn't the one. Neander's replica of Rachel is perfect in every way, exactly like the original, authentic, incomparably. When Kay sees the holographic projection of Joy at the end of the film, he remembers how he felt when Anna Steline told him that his childhood memory of the wooden horse was real. And even though the memory wasn't his, Kay's belief that the memory was his made him feel good about himself, made him feel confident, made him believe that he had a soul, and made him feel special. No two people have the same experiences. No two people can stand in the same spot at the same time. No two people have the same DNA. And for this reason, the only person we will ever know is ourselves. And the only feelings we will ever know are our own. If Rachel can be mass produced, how can Deckard ever know that she was real and not a clone? And Joy, if she was only a computer program, and if another version of her called him Joe, as she did, how can Kate ever know that her love for him was real and not part of her program? We all experience the world and our feelings alone. And if love is truly unconditional, then doesn't Deckard's and Kay's belief that they were loved make Rachel and Joy real? Here's a few things you may or may not know about Blade Runner 2049. Did you know that the clone of Rachel's character in the sequel was created by superimposing Sean Young's likeness onto actress Lauren Pater, and that Sean Young coached the actress on how to walk and move like Rachel? Did you know that director Denis Villeneuve's first choice to play Neander Wallace was David Bowie, who died before the film's production? And speaking of Neander Wallace, did you know that actor Jared Leto wore opaque contact lenses that made him completely blind like his character, and that he chose to navigate the movie set this way with an assistant? In fact, Leto fused himself so completely with his character that the director was moved to tears and confessed that seeing Leto this way was like seeing Jesus walking into a temple. Did you know that Harrison Ford accidentally punched Ryan Gosling in the face in their fight scene at the casino?
I like this song.
Did you know that the words and phrases
Cells.
interlinked and interlinked within cells are based on an acting exercise called dropping in, and that they were added to the interrogation scene by Ryan Gosling? Did you know that the film's Best Cinematography Award was Roger Deakins' first Oscar out of 14 nominations? Anyway, thanks for watching my analysis of director Denis Villeneuve's 2017 cyberpunk dystopian neo-noir thriller Blade Runner 2049, and be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, and hit the bell for more film related videos like this one. I will see you soon.